Have you ever thought, why do I keep attracting the same kind of people? You know how it is. They all seem amazing at first, super charming and sweet, saying and doing all the right things. And you're like, wow, I found my person. And then things start to change. They get controlling or a little manipulative. And one day they're all about you, showering you with love. And the next, they're picking you apart. And they gaslight you, play mind games with you, and you're starting to question yourself. And maybe you're the problem. So it's just a different face, same story. And before you know it, you're stuck in that same toxic cycle all over again. If this is you, you're in the right place. In this video, I'm going to show you why this keeps happening. It's not your bad luck or your destiny, and yes, you can break this pattern. And I will walk you through the exactly 4 steps to finally break it for good. Welcome to Love Forward with Eve. I'm a relationship coach and a women's empowerment coach. I have a mission to help women rebuild themselves after toxic relationship. I know what it's like because I've been there myself. My own healing journey took me from suffocated and defeated to empowered and free. And that's what inspired me to do what I do. I call this channel Love Forward because falling in love is easy, but falling into the right love is hard. You don't want to keep slipping back into the same old patterns, starting over and over again. You want to move forward into love that feels healthy, safe, and real. And that's exactly what the channel is here for, to help you start your journey forward. When I was in my 20s, I had my life together on the outside. A good job, a nice husband, lots of friends, everything seems perfect. But on the inside, I was miserable. I felt empty, disconnected, suffocated, unvalued, even unloved. So after I finally ended my last marriage, I quickly jumped into another relationship where I felt loved. And I thought I knew what I wanted and I was ready. And that guy was a total opposite from my ex on the front. Very attentive, very caring, but deep down, he was just the same. He triggered so much anxiety inside of me, brought me another version of the same pain. And the thing is, when this pattern keeps happening, you start to lose hope. You start to question yourself and wonder if you're even good enough to deserve healthy love. And eventually, you either settle for a toxic relationship or you stay away from relationships altogether. And that's why I think it's crucial to talk about this topic, because I don't want you to lose hope in love, and you don't have to settle. You deserve to be loved exactly the way you want to be loved. And while you don't have to fix yourself, you do have to heal yourself. That's what we do here. We heal, we grow, we start loving forward instead of slipping back into the old pattern. So let's dive in to talk about this pattern. Why it happens. It all comes to something called attachment styles. That's the foundation for how we connect with people. And it starts in childhood. There are 4 main attachment styles: secure attachment, anxious attachment, dismissive avoidant, and a fearful avoidant, which is also called disorganized avoidant. Secure attachment usually forms when your emotional and physical needs are met consistently. You grew up feeling safe and valued and understood. And anxious attachment often develops when love feels inconsistent. And sometimes your caregiver or your parents, let's say your parents are your caregivers, sometimes they're warm and available, and sometimes they're absent emotionally or physically, and they're not there for you. And as a kid, you might think, what did I do wrong? Or what can I do to earn their love? Maybe I try harder. If I try harder or keep pleasing them, I'll keep proving my worth, then they'll love me. Then they'll be here for me. Dismissive avoidant attachment can form when your needs were regularly dismissed, or you learn it was safer to keep your feelings to yourself. It's like maybe your parents fight all the time, so you feel safer staying in your own corner. And your inner dialogue might sound like, it's better if I don't need anyone, or I'm better off by myself. And a fearful avoidant attachment or disorganized avoidant attachment is a mix of both. Craving love but afraid of it often comes from trauma or unpredictable caregiving. A parent might be loving one day and explosive next. So as a kid, you might think, I want closeness, but I don't think it's safe. I want love, but I don't want to be hurt. So these are the 4 attachment styles. And before we jump into the next part, I'm just curious, what do you think your attachment style is? Leave that in the comment and let's see how many of us share the same ones. All right, so next let's talk about why anxious and avoidant attract each other. Anxious and avoidant people are often drawn to each other like magnets. Why? Because your nervous system thinks it's familiar. If you grew up feeling you had to chase love or earn love, your brain recognizes that same dynamic in adulthood and identifies it as a chemistry when you see someone, when you meet someone who makes you feel this way. If you find yourself thinking, wow, we just had this instant connection, it was electric. And I want you to ask yourself, is this really love at first sight, or is this trauma bonding in disguise? Here's the truth. When you haven't healed, you will attract and magnetize the partners that will hurt you. It's not because you want to be hurt, but because they validate the story your inner voice has been telling you all those years. And that inner voice might sound like, I'm not important. I'm not enough. My needs don't matter. No one really stays. Everyone leaves me eventually. And every time you meet someone who fits that story, it hits home, even if that home is chaos. And here's the big thing. Both anxious and avoidant styles are insecure attachments. And that's what we need to heal if we want to attract healthy love. So now comes the most important part. How to break that cycle. Step 1. Raise your awareness. The first step is always awareness, because you can't change what you don't see, what you don't recognize. So I want you to start noticing the patterns in your relationships. Let's say you've been dating someone who goes quiet every time when you bring up a need or set a boundary. That silence, that's not them needing space. It's a silence treatment. It's manipulation. When you start to recognize those moments for what they truly are, they're not romance, they're not mystery, they're just unhealthy patterns, and you've already taken the first step towards breaking them. And step 2, understand your own attachment style. So once you've spotted the pattern, you need to figure out what is your attachment style. So if you're anxious, you might constantly worry about being abandoned. So you overgive, overplease, you cling even when the relationship is hurting you. And if you're dismissive avoidant, you might pull away as soon as someone gets too close because intimacy feels unsafe. And if you're fearful avoidant, you might be stuck in the push and pull scenario. You crave closeness, but in the meantime, you want to run away from it. Knowing your attachment style doesn't really solve the problem on its own, but it helps you to spot the real issue. Because you can't find a solution until you identify the problem. So once you know what you're working with, and you can create a clear game plan to change it. Step 3, build the sense of security within yourself. Here's what the real transformation happens. You change what feels normal to you. It's about learning to self-soothe when anxiety kicks in. It's about practicing vulnerability in safe and trustworthy relationships. It's about rebuilding your core beliefs, reshaping that inner voice so when the wrong people cross your path, their reactions don't trigger you anymore. Because in the end, you're becoming the secure attachment yourself. So instead of blowing up their phone when you feel ignored, you can journal your feelings and call a trusted friend. And instead of shutting down when someone gets too close, you can say, hey, I'm feeling overwhelmed right now. can we please slow things down? So these small and consistent shifts rewire your nervous system to see peace as safe and chaos as a red flag. And last step, choose differently. This is the hardest part because in the moment, unhealthy love can feel exciting. It can feel so good. And remember, what feels good doesn't always mean it is good for you. Candy tastes good, but it's not good for you. Or let's say you're alcoholic. A drink might feel good in the moment, but it's not good for your health. So when you finally decide to switch from alcohol to pure water, you might taste something is off in the beginning, and that's okay. It's your nervous system adjusting to something healthy. And at first, you might not have butterflies with someone with secure attachment, and that's actually a good sign. It means you are breaking the old cycle. So every time when you choose calm over chaos, clarity over confusion, self-respect over self-sacrifice, you are rewiring your love life towards a relationship you truly deserve. If this video resonates with you, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, because in my next video, I will share the number one thing you should do after a toxic relationship to start your healing journey right away. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. And remember to love forward.